Good morning, my fellow Florida Panther fans. Now, just imagine you go to the zoo and you're watching the monkeys, but they got them behind glass. And they're flipping around from tree to tree, doing what monkeys do. And then one of the monkeys does what monkeys do, which is craps in his hand and throws it at you. But you're just standing there laughing because it's just going to hit the glass. And then your team takes control of the 7 seed and they lower the glass. And now you got to watch the monkeys. And you damn well better hope they don't shit on their hands and throw it at you, just like this team did the last 2 nights. And now the fan base is standing there with shit all over them, hoping they can clean up in time. The glass is raised again, by the way, but now we're covered in crap. How's that, Stu?
I, on the contrary, could easily get you banned from YouTube with the expletives that I'd like to throw out there. So maybe I'll just do a little bleeping on my own. How's that? Does that work?
Oh boy. We had, by the way, people should know Stu and I had no conversation before this, so I genuinely have zero idea what he's fixing to say.
We absolutely sucked last night. A load of beep.
Yeah.
How could you not? I mean, we came out really good in the Philly game. The last few, listen, I think the first thing to say is we went like 7-1-1. It's amazing how NHL teams can win 4 or 5, whatever, 6 in a row, 7 in a row, and then lose 4. I think that's what happened with the Penguins.
Yeah.
Anyway, make a long story short, we got lucky because Joe Pavelski, who's he's the prototype that like Reinhardt and these guys copy off of. Joe Pavelski is the best ever at the bumper tipping.
Yeah.
And he's burned so many teams, including us. Anyway, Austin Matthews, Panther killer. But the number 1 Toronto Panther killer is John Tavares. 3 assists last night.
You had to bring that guy up.
I mean, it's just we're really. I mean, it's like they're handing us a playoff spot, and we're not taking it. Now, granted, I think this, from what I read on Twitter, it was the same referee crew that was in Toronto. How does the NHL do that?
I'm not getting into it with the refs. The refs, I mean, that game was not lost because of the refs.
That's correct.
I said it last night.
We said it many videos ago.
That play that Ekblad made for the original penalty, the Forsling, the trip, the dude was falling, then Forsling gets his stick in there. It's going to get called. It's just going to get called.
That was the second penalty.
That was the second penalty. But the Ekblad thing, Barkov is right there. This is Maurice's systems. The forwards coming back and checking. Barkov does his job, he's right on Matthews, and Ekblad sticks his stick in there. And I can't stand it anymore.
He's probably, I'm wondering if he's the most penalized Panther this year.
Not sure.
Maybe Gudis.
Maybe Gudis to get the, you know what? Let's look. Keep on talking. I'm going to look. But
it's just, for all those people that just really turn to hate tweets and whatnot, if you think the Panthers are done, then you know what? Don't follow them. And, you didn't bash them when they were winning, 7 out of 8 games. So, listen, I'm angry also. The Philadelphia game should never have been lost. Okay, that you go from a fast running faucet in the first period and the third period, but you turn the faucet off in the second. That's the only way I can make this analogy, because it took us a good solid period to, get going. And if not for the 5-on-3, who knows? But we get 5-on-3s and we pass the puck around and end up not scoring on either one of them. It didn't. I was going to say it didn't take long for Toronto to, get that power play goal. Of course,
right.
I think it was from Matthews. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's the game. Go
ahead. Penalty minutes. Brandon Montour with 97, Kachuk with 92, Lomberg with 82, Gudis with 68.
Wow.
And then there's Ekblad with 60.
Okay, then I take it back. Montour.
Right. Yeah, so, Montour far and away the most. Now, of course, Ekblad has played 9 fewer games than Montour, but I don't think that is going to account for all of it.
How many minutes does Forsling have?
Forsling's down here with 40 minutes.
Okay.
And he's played every game.
And what about
Forsling? Hey, how about this? Josh Mahura's played every game. He's only got 32 minutes.
Wow, that's great.
Okay. Mark Stahl has played every game, only has 24 minutes. Sam Reinhart has played every game and only has 10 minutes. Are those games played? Yeah, that's games played. I want to make sure I was getting that right. Sam Reinhart only has 10 minutes. Barkov has played 58 games. He's got 9 minutes. Or what is that? No, that's 6.
Yeah. 2 or 4.
Sam Reinhart.
2 or 4 would win the Lady Bing or the Selkie.
Yeah.
I don't think he's still this year. He hasn't proven he's the best.
So
anyway, the other factor of the game last night was Murray. Yeah. He even though the puck was definitely over the line, the glove was so fast on the Kachuk shot. I thought for sure he buried it.
Now, Murray played well, but this is my new pet peeve now. I said it last night. This is my new pet peeve.
Okay.
If you're going to have the system be the forward, whatever, our guy enters the zone with speed, and then he slows down because he's back passing it to a guy who's coming into the zone with momentum. Son of a bitch, stop shooting it into the belly of the goalie.
I know.
Every time it's just boom. Right into us, like the goalie doesn't have to move ever.
That's 90% of their shots. The thing that really bothers me. Oh, rain fart. Oh, the cross ice passes.
Randy talked about that too.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 times they don't work.
Right.
I'm talking boards to boards.
Yeah, no, some crazy stuff. You're thinking, okay, let's get it towards the net, and they're going all the way to the other side of the ice, and there's 2 defenders in the middle. It's like, what? So,
well, teams have definitely studied the Panthers.
Yeah.
The other night, the Flyers found a way to separate the defense guys, and it left open that middle gap.
Right.
Brilliant.
Right.
Anyway, so doesn't look like I'm going to the Ranger game. Really bummed out about that. Anyway, we got another tough one.
Well, and that's it.
Unbelievable right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm not really, so positive, but in the quick, turnaround, whatever you want to call it, spin move, the Panthers could come out flying and just destroy the Rangers. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, bro.
Well, a lot of that's going to depend on Sam Bennett, right?
Yep.
Even at the start of the third period, Randy said, well, the Panthers are now a 3-line team.
It just goes to show you how important a player he is. And there, some yo-yos out there in Twitter land.
Yeah,
I don't know where they come up with this stuff. Trade him.
right.
Reinhardt, $6.5 million. Trade him. You find a way to make the cap work other ways. Those are the core guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but I people are gonna, disagree with us, but I think Ekblad needs to go bye-bye.
No, that's what I said after that. I mean, I got, genuine. I did what I do. I got genuinely pissed off. I tweeted something out, and I hoped that after the second intermission, he might see it, get pissed off, But I wasn't conscious. I wasn't consciously going, I hope he sees this. It's just my natural thing. I end up, when I go back and I realize I don't. That's like the same time of the game when I'll get pissed. Like halfway through the second period, I'm like, that's it, I've had enough, and I'll say something, and then 9 times out of 10,
Yep.
they
So
immediately.
listen, if we could get a just a younger right hand, maybe a little meaner defenseman.
Yeah, no,
I told you I like Zadorov, but he's a left-handed shot.
Right.
And then at the end of the year, you bring up Carlson and I'm sorry, Mark Stahl. You've played, good. You played bad, but it's. We just need to get a younger guy, and Carlson. He's just wasting his talent in the AHL.
No, what I said
in my opinion.
Yeah, no, you don't know this. In the article I just wrote before we came on here, that's what I was talking about. I said, we're going to have a little bit of money. What I would like to see, this is wish in one hand and crap, you know what I mean, crap in the other, but just go with a bottom pair next year of Carlson, Kiersted, have Stahl and Gudas gone, spend whatever money that we're going to have on either fixing the bottom 6 or if we could somehow replace Aaron Ekblad. Because as long as we're going out there and Ekblad's our number 1 defenseman, I mean,
he's not though, and he shouldn't be.
He shouldn't be anymore. And that's the issue though. But what do between how do you sell that? What are you gonna do? Put him on the second pair?
Well, you have a major effect on the player. Major.
Well, I don't think
resentment and like rejection and like dejection getting moved down. But I just think it would be a little less pain for both parties if they traded him and got a younger player making a lot less money.
Now that's one angle, and I'm gonna argue against myself here. Hold on, I'm gonna argue against myself here.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I always said about Weegar was that when the pressure was on, he would make these boneheaded plays, right? Now, Ekblad clearly physically has regressed. If you can't find a trade partner for him, or if it's just going to cost us too much, maybe moving him down to a second pair where you're like, okay, Ek, you're now a stay-at-home second pair defenseman. Don't worry about being the offensive guy. Don't worry about all of that. Stay home, use your stick, use what smarts you have hockey-wise, and just play defense.
Either that or, make Mahura and Gudas the number 2 and move Ekblad down. If you go,
man, Gudas is as good as gone, man.
Yeah, well,
Gudas is as good as gone. That writing's all over the wall. They would have extended him already. Zito gave him a price. They said they've talked, and Zito said, well, if we can keep him, which that is code. In Panther land, that you could just code that as the dude is gone because they don't ever, what they reveal, they're 5 steps ahead of what by the time they reveal one thing.
Well, they've made a couple of surprise announcements. Something like Mahura getting re-signed, in the middle of the year. So, whatever. We'll see what happens. But we need some fresh blood down there. I don't mean down there. I mean back there.
Right. I know what you're saying.
But I don't know what you thought about Bob's performance last night. Obviously, he made a lot of good saves, but I mean, Matthews is a top 5 player in the league. I mean, he's got a rocket ship for a shot, but I think Bob could have probably stopped a couple of those. The 5-hole goals drive me nuts.
Bob made some saves though that he can only do so much.
I know.
And let's face it, it was 3-2. It was 3-2 when we took those penalties.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And then that's when it opened up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And when you're playing down a man, or like we were against Philly, you're playing down 2 men.
With the number 2 power play in the league.
Right. You're just not going to have the energy every time to be like, well, it's 4-2. It's time to come back. Remember last year, dude, we were looking at our roster last year and we were going, our 5th line was better than most teams' 4th.
Well, the 3rd line, 1, 2, and 3. Right. That was the best 3rd line in the league.
Now we don't even have a 4th line.
Huh?
I said, now we don't even have a 4th line.
That is correct.
Yeah. So it's
Sam Bennett needs to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And in spite of everything, Chucky scores again.
I know, right? He kind of scored twice, but Murray.
Murray was really good. I mean, we get goal for some reason. The goalies just step up their game against us.
You know what I think it is? I think, and because when you get a goalie into the game and you get them making saves, it gives them confidence. And, we have a lot of shots, but they're usually not all that high quality shots. They're easy shots for the saves for the goalie to make. They gain confidence as the game goes on. They're in the game. They're focused. They're in the zone because we're getting it. It's almost like it's almost
like a golfer.
Yeah.
When a golfer gets in the zone. Those long putts are like he's like a machine, like a robot, so mechanical.
Exactly.
With the stroke and whatnot. I don't know about you, but I'm 30, 40 feet away from the green. I'm giving it a shot, and usually it goes flying past the hole. I can't
drive and I can't
golf anymore, but those memories are very vivid.
Yeah. No, I can't drive and I can't putt, but if you wanted to play team golf, let me chip. I could chip all day long. I'll get you out of the grass onto the green. That's my sweet spot. Because my swing is so screwed up. Anyway.
So we got the Rangers tomorrow.
God help us.
I'm hoping it's a good game, and I'm hoping that we come out on top.
I mean, let's put it this way. If the season, if you go by the rest of the season, every time it's looked like we were going to really turn that corner, we've got our asses handed to us.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, it definitely looks like we're fixing to get our asses handed to us. So maybe
just have to see what happens.
The biggest thing, though, the last thing I'll say is that we got 10 games left, but we really only have 8 games left to catch Pittsburgh, because now we can finish tied with them, but their last 2 games are the Hawks and the Jackets, and our last 2 games are Leafs and Canes.
Yeah.
So we better be, and then by the time we hit those 2 games, we better be at least 2 points ahead. 5. No, we can finish tied with them because we have the tiebreaker.
Right now we have more regulation wins.
Dude, they ain't gonna catch us. We got 5 more regulation wins.
Oh, really?
There's only 10 games. They ain't gonna catch us. We're gonna have the tiebreaker.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
all right. I got nothing else. You?
It's just 1 point at a time. Last thing, just talk about the 1 point, because I said it at the beginning of the recap yesterday. The 1 point, not only the 1 point that we could get, but Dallas holding on last night to not get Pittsburgh to overtime. That 1 point could be it.
Yeah, when I saw the final, and it didn't say OT, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw it was 3-2 Dallas with 6 minutes left, and I was
I
like,
know.
oh God, I know.
I saw the highlights this morning.
Right, and you just knew because you're thinking, oh, Crosby or Letang is tying that son of a bitch with 37 seconds left. You just know it, but they didn't.
3.8.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Anyway,
right.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Okay, we'll see what happens. So, I'll see you guys as soon as I'm done here. I'm gonna have some food. I'm gonna go do the podcast. 10 games left. Last year, as soon as hockey was over, it was like for hockey. As soon as the cup was over, because I covered all through the playoffs. Like the next 10 days, like I just had like a blank look on my face. Just I was so drained, right? It's like you could have had a whole bikini team in front of me, and I would have just been like, "Hi." I mean, but I have a feeling that feeling's gonna. If this team, oh God help us all, please, just knocking on wood and just whatever God you pray to, help us. Because if we miss out by a point, I honestly don't know if I'll live.
That was Dana's biggest fear,
right?
And obviously,
I don't know if
we
I'll
look at
the
Toronto game in Toronto. Forget about the one last night.
Right.
The one in Toronto was basically stolen from us. So
yeah,
but let's hope not.
Right?
Hope not.
No, I know. Well,
hey, listen, if the Flyers could beat us and the Flyers could beat Pittsburgh, who's to say that the Jackets or what was the other team?
Wouldn't that be something? We're toast as long as Pittsburgh beats the Jackets on the last day of the year and they lose. If that happens, I'll shave my head again.
What's the other team?
The Hawks. They got the Hawks and the Jackets the last two. I'm like, come on.
Listen, you never know.
I know you never know.
I told you Philly was going to beat the Penguins.
Right.
And then they said, F you, Panthers. We're going to beat you too.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So,
all right, guys.
Have a good day.
Yep. I'll see you guys later with the podcast.